Welcome to Doron Yoga, everyone. So, everybody loves handstands today. Whether they're really part of yoga or not really part of yoga, it doesn't even matter. But it's a fun practice, it's good, and it builds some good upper body strength, some good core, helps release fear. So, I found that for me this was a pretty big challenging pose. I've got these really long arms and I'm kind of on the skinny long side. For this I wish I was a little more compact. But still, I can do it. So what I found helped me a lot were like practices such as strengthening the core, and not just strengthening the core in regular core work, but some specific things that really worked for handstands. So I'll show you today two things that I found were extremely helpful for me and really made the biggest difference. And yeah, try them and see how it goes. So we'll start with the first one. The first one's laying down on the back. So I'm going to lay down, and in reality when you're laying down it's kind of like you're doing handstand, right? So notice that I have a pretty big arch in my lower back. I'm going to keep my feet together and I'm just going to work on tucking the tailbone so there's no arch and releasing. Tucking the tailbone and releasing. Tucking the tailbone, which really, in a way, as you can see, it already kind of makes my belly slightly come in and my core slightly activated. My core is pretty soft right now. Activating, my core starts to work. Okay? And we'll kind of want something like this when we're upside down. So I'm going to start, I'll take my arms overhead so it'll be easier to see. I'm going to start taking the tailbone under, and I'm going to raise my legs up to 90 degrees. And so my legs are up, and I'm trying to flatten the back. From here, I'm going to start to maybe bring the hands to the chest or to the heart or even beside the body to make it a little easier at first. I'm going to start to lower the legs. Notice that as I lower the legs, here comes the arch, right? So I'm going to try to tuck the tailbone under again and keep lowering down. At some point, you'll feel like, wow, if I lower down, I have to lose my arch. Stop at that point. Don't go beyond. Really try to keep as much as you can the lower back on the ground. Okay? I'm starting to shake. This is hard for me, so I'm going to stay here. If this is easy for you, maybe bring the hands to the heart. If it's still easy, hands overhead. Right? And keep working on that tuck down. Breathing. 3, 2, 1. And release down. Okay? So that's technically the practice. Let's do it again. This time we'll just go quicker into it, so I won't hold you or myself as long just explaining it. Legs up to 90 degrees. I'm starting to lower down. I'm flattening the lower back, adding the arms, and if possible I'm lifting the head just a bit off the ground. This is kind of a little more intense. You don't have to do this full variation. Breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. So I kind of lost it in the middle. Somehow my back started to lift. Try again. See what happens. And so here we go. Belly in. It's kind of hard to do it while talking. I'll do it silently this time. So just follow along. Legs up. Belly in. Back down. Breathe. Release. Okay. Move your booty a little bit from side to side to release. And here we go. Lower back down. Legs up. You can even just stay here, right? Release. Obviously you can do these much longer if that feels fine for you, but just do what is reasonable for you. Last one. We're going to do it a little easier, legs a little higher. Release. Okay, so that's just kind of one practice. And the idea is really that what we're doing is we're from here, which I was still bananaing a little bit today, we're trying to come to more of this position. so that when you're in the full handstand, instead of being full banana, you're really working on this kind of pelvic tuck, right? The tailbone goes under, the belly lifts, and that helps us. I mean, you can even start by working on it right here, right? Because the floor variation is kind of challenging, at least for me. So one more thing that helps, when we're doing the handstands, we're really trying to bring the hips over the shoulders. And it's kind of a deep forward fold, what we're going to do now. I'm not so warmed up. I don't know how about you, but we'll just do our best, right? So we come into kind of this forward fold, and if you need to, you can bend the knees if this is not happening for you. And we're just going to practice bringing foot across to the other wrist. So my right leg is going to try and come to the left wrist, and if it works good, if you need to, you can cheat a little bit, come onto the fingertips of the right leg to do this, right? Maybe it just comes part way, working towards it, right? And then the left goes towards the right, a little easier for me on this side. It's normal that one side will be easier than another. Let me just do 10 and you can join me just to see how it goes. Remember that as you're doing this, the shoulders, right? You really want to keep them wrapping in, because this is going to be your basic for the handstand. So shoulders are wrapping in, which really means externally rotating the shoulders. But I think of it as wrapping in because I feel like I'm giving myself a hug, but they're actually externally rotating. So here we go. As I exhale, I move. Exhale. 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 2, 3, 4. Belly in. 5, 6. Breathe. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Release down. You can just release your shoulders for a moment. So again, that's great because one, it will develop the upper body and shoulders. It'll work your core. It works on that kind of flexibility of managing to come closer together with your upper body and the lower body, which helps later on in tilting up. That's it. You can do 10 of those. You can do 20, 30, 40, right? Depending on your ability. Maybe I'll show it one more time just from a different angle. Not sure if it'll make much of a difference, but here we go. We'll just do 5 of them. So again, the shoulders move over the wrist as much as possible, because this is what you're going to want later on for the coming up to your handstand. So I'm bringing my shoulders, wrapping them, and then really pressing, right? I'm activating the upper body. Belly is lifted to kind of create space in the lower back. And here we go. That's 5. Let's do a little more. 6. Let's do one more. Oh, I know, I cheated. I did more than I said. That's okay. If it feels good, keep going, right? Then I started feeling it here and in the shoulders, and it feels wonderful for me.